Hello, and welcome to another great episode of Days of the Wolf, reporting somewhere from a secret location within the Northwest. I am your host, dwulf, and we are talking about crypto tech and code news, but specifically, we are talking about Beyonce's recent KYC AML hack and my general opinions of it. Now, this just happened, I think, like yesterday or today, depending on when you're seeing this video. And this is one of the things that I've always had angst about KYC and AML mandates on the exchanges. This is the very thing that makes the vulnerabilities, subject to problems. When you register with certain exchanges, and these exchanges are mostly because the regulators want to be able to find out if you're like some terrorist or you're trying to launder money and stuff like that. But the problems that we're having with KYC, oh, by the way, KYC is Know Your Customer, AML is Anti Money Laundering Acts. So a lot of people get caught up on the anachronisms and stuff. And this is usually mandated in banks. If you get a bank account, you have to show some form of governmental ID. Presumably, it's hidden from prying eyes. It's just there to validate your identity, not necessarily to authenticate yourself, which are the two key things in the cryptocurrency world. Is it's much better to authenticate an account as opposed to formally identify yourself, and this is where the problem in lies. So with KYC and AML, that creates a single vector of attack, where if they can't necessarily get your mnemonic phrase or your private keys, that's okay. That's fine. If they can get your personal information, they can hack you in other ways. They don't necessarily need your private keys, although that would be a nice thing for them to have. But yeah, this gives a vector of attack that I think creates an extreme vulnerability in the market. The regulators, they just want to regulate. They want a way to be able to tether your personal identity to the amount that you have in your wallet, or attach your personal identity to your wallet. And that tends to be a little bit problematic, in situations like what Beyonce is dealing with right now. And this is a serious problem. I heard about it from Ivan on Tech, which is a newscast I follow pretty religiously. He does his little spiel every morning and stuff from Sweden, Stockholm or somewhere around there. But yeah, this is the thing I've been harping about in a lot of my shows. No KYC, no AML. We should utilize the decentralized, private nature of cryptocurrency as it should be. But the regulators want to regulate, and if you want to have an exchange that taps into the fiat market, they're going to want they're going to want your name and identity, and they want to be able to identify you as a person, not the authentication of a wallet. This is problematic. There are arguments against this. Well, what do you do if you have to launch an investigation and stuff like that? Well, what if you are under a tyrannical regime, just like that? It works both ways. So, I would like to see a future where your finances are completely decoupled from your personal identity. Um, Unless they get more sophisticated, like with a zero knowledge proof of your identity, where you don't necessarily have to give your personal identity or a picture of you holding your passport and stuff like that, where they can just kind of authenticate and know through like a zero knowledge proof or something of that nature. But they haven't even came to the table with that. They just basically give us your government's ID, or you cannot use the exchange, or you cannot, facilitate, in the banking world and stuff. And I was listening to Andreas Antonopoulos, and he basically stated that the best strategy of the cryptocurrency, um, to obtain it, is to earn it, to actually have someone pay you directly in cryptocurrency, as for a service or a product or whatever, and not have to go through the middleman where KYC is required. I think it'll be a little bit of time before we get the wallets to the point where they are their own exchanges. Right now a lot of people are kind of depending on exchanges, like Coinbase is a big example. Beyonce is another big example that require these KYC elements. But this is very dangerous, and it should be, at least at the very minimum, re-examined on how KYC would even be implemented. But right now, it's just no dice. If you want to remain anonymous, cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, still has it's a quasi-anonymous, you know, um, coin token. You can still find out, where blocks of those hashes are trading to and from. Um, but eventually that will be, worked on with like layer one security, zero knowledge proofs, the Lightning Network, and these things are coming, but they're just not being engineered fast enough. I mean, everybody's kind of competing with the regulatory status, because the feds have no problem shutting down an exchange that they even sense are not playing ball. But the thing that's beautiful about, in my way, cryptocurrency, is that everybody has a choice. Everybody has a bank literally in their wallet. So if enough people kind of join together and become independent, and just if I wanted to pay you something and you wanted to receive something, like for a widget or whatever, it's just between me and you, not me, Chase Bank, the government, or anything like that. It should just be a direct peer-to-peer, and that's hopefully the dream, that we're all kind of shooting for. But I just want to say this little video. I want to kind of put my 2 cents in. This is dwulf signing off.